cozy with your neighbors. This is an amazing turnout, and we're so excited to have you all here. We will open today's program with a song in the program of 4th and 5th graders, I believe. Yes. So, thank you for being here, and the 4th and 5th graders, we are ready for you.
such a special group of individuals on this special day. It has become a tradition here in the Bryan City School District to hold this annual event, and we are so grateful that over the course of the last 20 years, this program has grown from one where 5 or 6 veterans were in attendance to this. To those of you in this room who have served in the U.S. military, we are grateful, and it is our hope that at the conclusion of today's program, you realize and feel just how grateful we are for each and every one of you and your service.
Isn't it a shame that nobody shows up? Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the presentation of our nation's colors?
said, those who are no longer with us gave up their lives so that we could be here today. They gave up not only the life that they were living, but the life that they would have lived. Some sacrificed the chance to be husbands and wives, parents, revered old men, and sophisticated old women. Now, here we are today. And although we can do nothing to change the course of history, we can do something. Something powerful. Something that will stand the course of time. We can remember. There is always someone to remember. Someone who gave their all so we could have ours.
At this time, we'd like to direct your attention to the right side of the stage where you notice the missing band table, which was set today by Mrs. Biddick and her students. This table is a tradition that was believed to have come to fruition during the Vietnam War. Although there are several formats in which the ceremony may be used, it is an important and symbolic way to commemorate and honor those who are not here with us today. While we enjoy our daily freedoms, we must always remember we are free partially because of someone who is not sitting here with us today. Now let's pause for a moment of silence in honor of those who are not able to be with us here today, and then continue on with Amazing Grace and Shenandoah performed by the high school string quartet.
take this opportunity to reflect on why our nation's soldiers past, present, and future must be brave. We need to remember the things that will continue the peace we are accustomed to. We need to remember those who have come before and fought so gallantly for all that we hold close today.
Today's generation of soldiers are fighting a battle unlike those of past generations, and those who become the next generation of soldiers will be facing different battles again. The piece that remains constant is that every generation has sent saved, breathless soldiers into battles not for fame, fortune, or glory, but for something greater than themselves, country. Every soldier's story is a piece of our nation's spirit. The stories are what the Stars and Stripes stand for. The values, the history, and the sacrifices have gotten us to where we are today. Would you please direct your attention to our kindergarten and first grade students who, under the instruction of Mrs. Grime, will entertain you with a song about our beautiful flag.
Ever had occasion to attend a military funeral, or funeral for those that have served, almost invariably there will be a flag raising ceremony. There's some differences of opinion as to where this ceremony started. Nonetheless, it has become a tradition. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks who gave a portion of their lives for the defense of our country to attain and maintain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, or in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country in dealing with other countries may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It's with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces. For it's through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all of her enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it's been through their faith, their love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold in the eyes of a Christian citizen represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. With the final fold, the flag is completely folded. The stars are uppermost, reminding us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of what was called a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones. They were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we enjoy today. And you see the American flag folding ceremony, now you'll know why. It is most important. It is tradition. It is our flag. And now, would you please rise for the playing of the tap.
Oh, here come the tears. Here I go.
You may be seated.
We celebrate this day, Veterans Day, on the anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I. That agreement began on the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour, and is so symbolic and deliberate of honor and history, as well as those who helped shape it.
Our liberty is something we have always held dear. Unfortunately, there are those who have sought to take it away. Time and time again, those individuals have been met by an immovable force, one that is strong, one that never backs down. Simply stated, that force is our soldiers, our heroes, and our veterans. We have because they gave. It's today that allows us an opportunity to say thank you with a grateful heart for the sacrifices you each have made. As many of you know, the U.S. Armed Forces are made up of 5 branches: the Army, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marines, and the Navy. Veterans, please stand and be recognized when we pay tribute to the branch in which you served.
Ronald Reagan once said, "Some people live an entire lifetime and wonder if they have ever made a difference in the world. A veteran has never had that problem. We're here today because you have made a difference." At this time, we would like to welcome a special group of guests onto the stage. Would the following individuals please join us on stage? Megan Hall, Cole Bolton, Niki Huard, Orendorff, Kylee Martin. Each one of these special guests have a unique connection to what it means to make a difference. It's important to remember behind every service member is a network of loved ones that support, worry, love, and are making sacrifices of their own. We have prepared a question and answer session this year to hopefully provide some perspective on how far military and service actually reaches.
Nobody wants to be the first. Come on up, everybody. Mr. Orendorff, you can stay in your spot.
Oh, thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, so today we've prepared some questions, which I'd like to say these people are going to just speak so eloquently, but they knew their question beforehand. So we wanted to kind of provide some perspective on how military service isn't just about, being in the military and being deployed. There's a whole network of people behind that. And so we have a variety of individuals here who will introduce themselves and tell what their connection is before we go with the questions, okay?
Hi, my name is Kylee Martin. Navy.
Hello, my name is Megan Hall, and I am the daughter of a Bryan City School employee, Mr. Ely, and he served in the Navy.
And we're so sorry.
My name is Cole Bolton, and I'm a senior at Bryan High School that just graduated basic.
And I'm Niki Huard, and I served in the U.S. Army. I was a 14 Tango Patriot missile operator.
And I'm Orendorff, I think. Also Tom Selleck's identical twin brother. just for the record. Served 6 years in the Navy, 26 months in Vietnam.
All right, so the first question is going to go to Megan. And it is, what is the biggest or most vivid memory of your dad being enlisted or deployed from when you were a child?
So I was 13 years old and living in Jacksonville, Florida. My dad had been on a 6-month-long deployment, and my mom, sister, and I were eagerly awaiting his return. If you don't know, military homecomings are the most amazing, indescribable feeling of all time. It's overwhelming, very emotional, with all the feels. This homecoming was a little different though. My dad was coming home and we were going to be soon moving to Virginia Beach. When the USS Enterprise pulled in, our emotions were high. I was amped because I was one of the lucky ones to have an opportunity to attend the 3-day Tiger Cruise. A Tiger Cruise is for those family members selected to live on the carrier for a certain period of time and live the life of a sailor. My dad got off the carrier just to say hello to my mom and sister, only to turn right back around and take me back on the ship with him. It was the experience of a lifetime. I slept, showered, ate, and hung out on the USS Enterprise for 3 whole days, as it took the trip from Jacksonville, Florida to Virginia Beach, Virginia. I learned that the chief's mess had the best food, even better than the officers. The chiefs ate like kings. I even learned I needed to get up very early to shower if I wanted any privacy. There is absolutely no privacy on a ship.
You got that one right.
Yeah. I learned that watching F-18 jets land on the carrier is the loudest sound you will ever hear. As they land, a hook comes down, and the jet kind of, it hooks onto this cable that's on the carrier that keeps it from, continuing to go on. I learned that looking out to see nothing but the ocean is peaceful yet lonely. I learned that sleeping arrangements did not allow me any room to stretch out and get comfortable. The beds were literally the size of you, nothing more. And they were bunk bed style. You did get a little curtain though to pull for But best of all, I learned how to drive the carrier. I got to drive the USS Enterprise, even obtaining my helmsman certificate. Not many people can say they have driven a naval carrier, and it was definitely the most amazing experience that I will never forget.
That's a good one. Wow. All right, this question is for Cole and for JB. What do you remember about the day you enlisted, and why did you choose the branch you did?
So I enlisted into the United States Army at the age of 17 on February 17th, 2022. February 17th is a very memorable day because it's actually the day I got my license too. And yeah, so I signed my contract that day. It was a great experience. I wouldn't say it was a great experience, but it was definitely interesting. I got back home and I was just overloaded with questions by my family, and I had to take time to explain it all, but I think I'm going to look back on it as one of my better experiences in the Army, going through the whole process of actually getting in and getting an opportunity to serve my country.
The day I enlisted in the Navy is burned into my memory, just as it is for every new Navy recruit. Isn't that right, Master Chief Ely? Nearly 20 hours of non-stop being told what to do and where to go, several times, and how to do it the Navy way. It was exhausting. Finally, there was one brief moment when we were ordered to write a short message on a postcard. Some of you may know what that is. That was to be mailed home. It was 56 years ago this past June, and I'll never forget what I wrote. I'm fine, but very tired. I don't know what's going to happen to me next. A few months later, I was looking at the coast of a place called Vietnam. Why the Navy? Well, some would say it was a great way to meet women. That never occurred to me. Sort of. It was a great way to learn more about our world and contribute to what I felt was a worthwhile cause. And I would do it again in a heartbeat.
So you said a little bit, you had a lot of questions from your friends and family, but can you tell us how you shared with them, or when you shared with them that this is what you wanted to do, and what were their initial reactions?
So, after I got back from where you go to sign your contract, back before I left for basic training, they just kind of, it was a very short process. It was only a couple days, so there wasn't a whole lot to explain, but I told them everything they wanted to know. But at basic, that was a little bit different. So we got to write letters, obviously, and stuff, and we got our phone calls every now and then. But every time they would call, they always have questions, how's it going, what are you doing? I hold up okay, it was great. But yeah, no, when I got back, I can't even remember all the questions that they were asking. And they asked if I truly enjoyed it, and honestly, it was the best thing that I've ever done. And I wouldn't say, I don't know how to say it, but I would definitely go through it again because it was a good experience and you get to do a lot of things that you only do once in a lifetime.
Thank you.
So a little history about the young lady about ready to talk. This is Kylee Martin. She's a 5th grader. She's my granddaughter. And this is her second tour of duty here in Bryan. Her mother is currently actively serving in the United States Navy. Her mom just got back from a 6-month plus deployment on the USS Hall. She's also served on the USS Arlington. And when I say this is her second tour of duty, every time her mom has to go out and would potentially be out to sea, she has to move to Bryan. So she leaves behind a number of things. So Kylee, question for you. How do you feel when your mom is deployed?
I feel really sad because she's always next to me, and every time she leaves, I start crying. It's crazy.
Is it hard?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. And she's brave, and I like it because she can take care of me and she can protect me from everything that's bad around me.
All right, so another question for you, Kylee. How is life different for you when she is away? What changes in your world? I've already told you you moved to Bryan, so what else changes?
I can do sports here, but where I live, I can't do sports, I think. And I have lots and lots of friends here in Bryan, and in Virginia, I have not so many friends, but yeah. And
that's because she was only there you only started school for first grade there.
Yeah, first grade to third grade.
Yeah, and then you had to come back to here.
Yeah.
All right, our next question goes to JD and Niki, so one of you can answer it first. What do you want others to most know about your military service?
Well, I didn't really plan on serving in the Army, and I had actually done 2 years of college, and I wasn't sure how I was going to afford to come back for my junior year. And I keep looking over here, because this is where our upperclassmen are. So I came up with this plan. I was going to enlist in the Army, and I hope I don't offend anybody when I say this, because several people tried to tell me, you should go Air Force. And I said, why? And they said, because it's easier. I said, well, I don't do things because they're easy. But I'm also not crazy enough to be a Marine, so I went Army. But so many people tried to talk me out of it. So at this point I had made up my mind, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm going to pay for my college, serve my country, the structured environment, the disciplined environment is all like my jam. So there was definitely a draw and an appeal to me from my personality standpoint. So when I started telling my friends and family, like, yeah, I think I'm going to enlist in the Army, I got a million reasons why I shouldn't. You should know I graduated valedictorian of my class. I was a high school athlete. I was on our gymnastics team. I played softball. Later helped me throw grenades really well, by the way. And so everybody was telling me, you're too smart for the Army. You're going to waste yourself there. And you're too nice for the Army. And these hands aren't government trained to kill, so I may smile a lot, but don't mess with my family. So I decided to enlist, and my way of doing that was I went to MEPS and I signed the contract and I swore in, and then I came home and I told everybody. And I was in a sorority at the time too, and my sorority sisters were like, you realize camo isn't pink, right? Yes, I know. I was too girly for the Army too. That was the other thing. So I decided to enlist to pay for my college. I was also majoring in mathematics at the time, minoring in physics. So I opted to be a Patriot missile operator because I thought that would be really cool. What I didn't know at the time was that was the only combat MOS females were allowed to do. So I was very outnumbered. When I got to my permanent duty station, there were 4 of us, including myself, that were females that did my job. So there were definitely challenges that came with that as well. And I learned to really stand up for myself. Those other 3 females were probably 3 of the hardest working people I've ever known in my entire life because we were constantly trying to prove ourselves. We were trying to prove that we deserved this promotion. We were trying to prove that we deserved anything and everything that happened to us. So we were really some of the hardest working people there. So I think it's important to know that when I was being told a million reasons why I couldn't, why I shouldn't, and I didn't listen to those voices, it's important to know that you're going to reach those moments in your life where maybe people don't believe in you, or maybe you don't believe in yourself, and you have a choice to either believe the negativity or to push through and prove everybody wrong. And I just want to say I finished basic training, like Cole said. It was probably hands down one of the best experiences of my life. I would do it again a million times over. It was like summer camp with a weapon, and I did things every day that I didn't think were possible, and every day I did them. Not on my own, but with my team, you know, my platoon. So it was very team building oriented, and I loved everything about it. I would go back and do it again a million times over. I graduated basic training as an honor grad. I went to AIT, which is like school with drill sergeants. You sit in a class and you learn how to do your job. And I graduated AIT as a distinguished honor grad, and I was very competitive. So even though there were very few females to males, I was always pushing myself to finish before a lot of them, both academically and physically. So, especially to the females in this room, like, you can do this. Like, this is an option. If you're not sure what you want to do with your life, this is a great way, a great option for you. I got stationed in Germany right away, so we got to travel all over Europe. Every time we had a weekend, we could hop on a train. I climbed the Eiffel Tower. I did it in heels because I wasn't wearing tennis shoes to the fashion capital of the world. I swam in the sea off the coast of Italy. I got to do all these cool things. I rode a jet ski in the Persian Gulf. So it was a great opportunity for someone who was 21 years old to see the world and make lifelong friends.
All right, we're going to go to Megan and ask you a question. How has your view on your dad's years of service changed from when you were young to now, when you were able to understand more about what he did?
Well, a lot of my views have changed from when I was younger to now. As a young girl, I viewed my dad as my hero because he was just my dad. He went to work every day like many of my friends' parents. He was larger than life and very annoying. Insert eye roll. Sorry, Dad. But I knew his work was different because he would go away for long periods of time, even around the holidays and birthdays. He missed my sister and I's birth. But when I think about my amazing dad's years of service now, I'm in awe. I'm in awe of the sacrifice not only from him, but from my mom, sister, and I. The military impacts all members of the family. The hard work it took my dad to serve this great country for 27 years is incredible and feels almost surreal and superhuman. 27 years is a long time. I am so incredibly proud to be his daughter and be a Navy brat for life, but I am forever grateful for his sacrifice to serve this amazing country, even if it meant being away from his family.
Panel in general, Kylee, Megan, Cole, Niki, and JV. One more big round of applause for sharing with us
today. Before we move on to the next section of the program, and Mrs. Thormeyer doesn't know I'm going to say this, today is November 10th. On this date in 1775, the Marines were established. It's their 247th birthday today. Happy birthday, Marines.
Today we stand proud for all that has come before us. Freedom is a prize for those who have and those who continue to fight for our country. We live in this great nation because of so many people who have sacrificed so much. We are thankful, we are honored, and we will forever be grateful for this amazing place called the United States of America. Our sixth graders now have a poem to share with you.
You put it on the line for us. We won't forget you. You're an A+.
This country stands because of you. Your service seals red, white, and blue.
No better troops cover this earth. Thank God for you, our greatest worth.
We pray for you both night and day. God be with you along your way.
You wear your uniform with so much pride. You use your skills and never hide.
The rank you hold means many things. You're a soldier and that's what you bring. Be certain that we back you strong. How proud we say that you belong.
Without your will to walk the walk, we have no right to talk the talk.
Thank you, veterans, for your service, and God bless you all.
As we prepare to part ways until next year, on behalf of all the students and staff that make up Bryan City Schools District, I'd like to again say thank you and offer one more round of applause to all the veterans here today. As the second and third graders reminded us in their song, together we make our land a home, standing as one great nation, united in liberty. Mrs. Bryan and Miss Tappan will now have our second and third graders perform for you a song about this amazing country that we call home. Their song is sure to make you realize just how nifty these 50 states truly are.
Yep, they're right up there. You can see and watch them.
Each individual state
Students and staff who participate contribute $1 and wear a hat to school that day in recognition of and support for our local veterans. One half of my senior internship team, Reese Roadhouse, is here today to give you an update on how we're doing. Paige Kinsman couldn't be with us, but they've really spearheaded this initiative, and I'm really, really proud of them.
So far, we have raised over $1,800 and are on track to double past contributions.
Students and staff, we just want to say thank you for your generosity once again this year, and to the veterans who are in attendance today, thank you so much for your service to our country and your contribution to our community. Thank you.
All right, and that brings us to the end of another year's worth of recognition, another year's worth of an amazing program. Bryan City Schools talks about being Bryan built, and I think this is just one beautiful example of what that means. So again, please give yourselves, veterans, students, everybody a round of applause for being so amazing. So our art department, our elementary art department, the poppies that are up here, veterans, please feel free before you leave to take a souvenir with you. There is also a table outside. The art students have made some keychains, and there's just some different things for you, some cards out there just to say thank you for something that you can take with you and hang on your fridge or set on your counter. So please don't leave without one of those. We also, once our students are dismissed, would like to take our annual picture over here in the seated area. So if you are a veteran, if you could hang around for a couple minutes, we would greatly appreciate that.
Also, I'd like to say that we're considering a programming note for the future in regards to middle school and high school students, since we see so many of you singing along to 50 Nifty United States. We're thinking about adding that as a future program change here. Sorry, elementary school students, but they're going to need your support. Also, we'd like to take a moment to thank Eric Hodder of Eric Hodder Sound. We appreciate so much for his assistance today, making this possible. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize Mrs. Kathy Viddick, who graciously sets up and makes possible the Missing Man table. Bring us up because this is her last year. She'll be retiring from Bryan City Schools, and it's her efforts that make this Missing Man table possible. And we'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all of our readers, all of our musicians, our ushers from National Honor Society, all of our students and our staff for their wonderful time here today and their support in making an event like this possible. Thank you so much. Let's give everybody in this room a round of applause.